If you want to stop slicing that golf ball, and if you want to stop hitting those low hooks and even those top shots with your fairway woods and long irons, then in this golf lesson today, we are going to give you some golf tips to help just that. And guys, if you are new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. And if you want to hit that subscribe button, that would be great. We are trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you're a regular viewer, guys, welcome back. And I hope you're enjoying the new formats to the channel. Now, what do we see when people get their fairway woods out? Today here, I've got a 3-wood and I'm going to be hitting some shots that I see from everyday golfers. And this is what we start to see a tendency of. Those low strikes, those ones that don't necessarily go as far as even if you're hitting your 6-iron, your 5-iron. You start to think, why have I got a 3-wood in the bag? Should I get rid of my 3-wood? Should I replace that with maybe a 5-wood? Well, no, we want you to have these clubs in your bag, but we want you to be able to hit them better. But how do we do that? So the first few things that I see from amateur golfers is I will start to see people in this position here. So ball position a long way forward, and from there we are reaching for that golf ball. Once we're reaching for that golf ball, because now this is extremely or one of your longer clubs in the bag, then that's going to be pulling you out of position. So how many times I see people hit fairway woods and they're in this finished position here. And if you can comment below if you see anyone on tour finishing like that, then I will be extremely surprised. But why do people get into that position? Because you think this club is longer, I need to stand further away. And that is correct. We do want to be further away from this club. We obviously don't want to be stood this close, which we also see, but from less people, I would say. So obviously from here, this is where we start to see people picking that club up, and they might just hit that low left one. You can see there's no movement from that lower body, and we're not using this club and letting the club swing to get you that distance. You can see that from that video right there. So what do I want to see first? Well, the first thing we want to do is if I have a shot right here, I want to think ball position. So if I was having my feet together, I'm going to make sure that I take a small step with the left foot and a bigger step with the right foot. So it's around about a club width inside that heel. And the reason is that we are still trying to hit down with this golf club. I'm not trying to hit up on that golf ball because that is where the top shots come from. So once I've got that ball position pretty good, and the way you can do that is grab another golf club. So get another golf club out of your bag whilst you're at the driving range. And let's start to set that in there, so we can start to get into that good position. So feet will be together. I take a small step with the left and a bigger step with the right. And straight away there, I've got that club width or club head width inside my left heel. From there, then we want to think, right, what am I trying to do? I'm still trying to hit down, but not as much as if I was hitting an 8-iron, for example. So my sternum wants to be nicely behind and round about in the middle of my stance. If anything, a little bit further back, because what we're trying to do is keep that spine angle back. We're still shifting our weight, but my sternum should remain behind the golf ball. Obviously, what we start to see with an iron is we might get our body a little bit ahead because we're trying to hit a little bit more down, and then from there we'll come in with a lot of forward shaft fling. With these clubs, we're not trying to get an excessive amount of forward shaft fling. So if I was to come down from the top, I would be wanting my spine to stay pretty neutral where it is. That club head's still working down, and I release that golf club and get the speed out into that club head. And a good feel and a good reference for you to do once you've got your stance is just take your right hand, you're going to go down to your knee, and then you're going to take your grip. So straight away there, I'm in a good angled posture back, and then from there, I'm just trying to get through to that finish. And you can see straight away there, I'm through to my target. That ball is launched nice and high. I've hit down into that golf ball, and we've got that 3-wood going 250 yards. So that would be down the middle as we want it to. We can see that I've got the club face square, but I haven't had to try and hit that. I've not tried to hit the golf ball on the way up, because if I hit that one on the way up, even if I get that good stance and I then hang back, we can still hit that shot. So we're not trying to help these golf clubs up even though they have minimal loft. So once we've got into that position, you say, well, yeah, it's very easy for you to just swing that golf club and just get through to your finish. But what are some more checkpoints? So the second thing that I see from golfers when they grab their 3-wood, when they grab any longer club, what do? Your grip becomes a lot tighter. How many times I see people strangling that club? And if we put your iron swing next to your wood swing, we'd see a total difference. Often what I see when we get a fairway wood is it never gets past halfway or 3/4, because what we're trying to do, trying to get it over and done with. If I hit this quicker, I can get that down there, I can just move on to my next shot. So again, grip pressure here for me, I'm thinking again, it's around about a 6 out of 10. So get over your shots, go onto the driving range, get your 3-wood out and just see what you do naturally. Do you grip it that a little bit stronger than if you've got your 8-iron? Are you a little bit more relaxed when it gets into those mid-irons that you're used to hitting a little bit more often? And then as soon as you get a wood or you get a long iron, everything starts to get a little bit tense. And if it is starting to get a little bit tense, what I want you to do is go through your routine and just have a little bit of a waggle. So here your preset can be a little bit of a waggle. We've got our stance, I have a waggle, and then from there I'm going to come in and hit my shot. And you can see again there, a nice penetrating ball flight, a little bit of a slice, or a little bit of a fade, let's say. But again, just down the right hand side there, but you can see I'm turned through to my target, my upper body stays behind that shot, but I finish over on that left hand side. So that little bit of a waggle just gives me that little bit of freedom and a little bit of relaxation into the golf swing. I'm not trying to strangle that golf club, because that's what we start to see when we start to see those shorter backswings. So what happens if you're hitting the ball left? And if you are hitting a shot just like this one to the left, what we often see is that when we make that golf swing, we are not getting that weight transferred through onto that left hand side. So you'll see when the video comes up here, I'm hanging a little bit back, and yes, I made good contact with that. I've got a little bit of hand-eye coordination there and timed it pretty well. But you can see there, leaning back, so that hasn't got the distance. Instantly there, straight away, I've lost around about 100 yards, 90 yards. And if we can gain you 90 yards, that would be the dream. But if we can get you trusting these clubs, not only off the ground, but also off the tee, we are still trying to do that same thing. We are still trying to hit down onto that golf ball. And this is another huge error that I see from most amateur golfers, that when they're teeing your 3-wood, your 5-wood, your 7-wood up on the tee height is too high. Don't forget, we are still trying to hit down, even if it's on a tee. For me, we want to just get it off the ground. So if you use Castle tees, the green one, which you'll see is extremely small, I'll try and put one on the screen here, that is exactly what we want. It's just off the ground, and it's one of the biggest things I see why people misstrike them, and it's one of the biggest reasons why I see a lot of marks on the top of that 3-wood, 5-wood, 7-wood, or even your driver that nobody wants to see. So remember, rule number 1 for us with a fairway wood, with an iron, with a driving iron, with a hybrid, we are trying to hit down into that golf ball. I am not trying to pick it up off the top. I'm going to get into my routine. So again, I'll go through that process. Little step, bigger step for me. I'm angled behind, and then I'm going to have that little bit of a waggle. And once you've done that, you'll get into that routine of a good posture, so you won't need to keep doing that on the golf course. So I don't want you thinking instantly, well, that's going to take me forever, that's going to slow me down. Once you've done this on the practice range or even in the nets before you go out, then on the golf course, all you'll need to do is just have that little waggle to make sure those wrists are relaxed, and then come in and hit that shot. And you'll see again there, a little bit of a fade up the right hand side, well over 200 yards, and reaching not quite 250, but that is a consistent number for me with this 3-wood by hitting down onto that golf ball with a good setup, with a good grip pressure, and then make sure you commit to that shot.